wrestling. As long as people hear our voices, who cares? A little bit of an echo, a little bit of static. Marvel, eat your fucking heart out. What happens when you have Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AAA, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, all under one umbrella with still a sense of unpredictability and the fact you got GCW Heavyweight Tag Team Champions on your show too? And who knows who could show up for Deonna Purrazzo's Championship Challenge too? I'll tell you what you get. You get one hell of a super card for this crazy weekend of professional wrestling in Impact Wrestling's multiverse of matches. Holy shit, I'm ready for this. Here we fucking go. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to the Simple Impactful Duo. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, there's nobody else I'd rather talk Impact Wrestling with more than my fellow correspondent, this time named the new normal, Jerry Multiverse. Jerry, how are you? Are you ready for everything tonight, including the multiverse when everything collides?
I don't think I'm ready for this weekend in general. There is so much wrestling going on that I can't keep track of which lineups are on which shows because they're melting around so much and intermingling, especially with the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, the next night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking about the Super Car of Honor pay that's actually right before the multiverse of matches that looks like this?
Yes.
Well, I'm also crazy. Hello, my name is Noah Foster. I have addiction to professional wrestling because I'm starting even earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time watching this. The Lone Star Shootout, headlined by Minoru Suzuki and Killer Cross, and Chris Dickerson and Tomohiro Ishii. So basically, I'll be watching professional wrestling from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time all the way through midnight.
More power to you, man. That's a lot.
I'm a glutton for punishment as a professional wrestling fan.
Nah, I have a feeling you're going to go through a lot of Mountain Dews that day.
I mean, I got plenty, but also I'm a guy with self-control, but I do have this for That being said, it's great to see you. And folks, you can join in the fun too. Let your predictions be heard on all things wrestling. And shout out, of course, to the ATW crew on Twitter. We'll be doing ATW View also this weekend too. And I'll also be, of course, providing play-by-play coverage of Ring of Honor and WrestleMania this weekend on the Jeff Meacham Network. But folks, get those predictions in. I'm only going to say this once, but I'll say it at the end of the video as well. But as far as the beginning of the video, this is what we're focusing on. Come join the Impact Wrestling Predictions League as our next event is the Multiverse of Matches. You see what time you have till tonight. And again, it is a super card of 9 professional wrestling matches here where everything comes underneath one umbrella during WrestleCon in Dallas, Texas. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Holy hell, what the hell am I doing? That being said, I feel it only makes sense to start with this because when it comes to Impact Wrestling, they set the standard for the night. They usually are the opener, and usually they take your breath away the most. For once again, we bring back the return of Ultimate X, and the current X Division champion, Trey Miguel, defends the X Division championship against this group of people. In the former X Division champion, Chris Bear representing Bullet Club, Vincent representing Honor No More, Rich Swann, one half of the Swan and Mac connection, Blake Christian, who's all heart, shout out to GCW, and the only person I know on the entire Impact roster that could fight any man or woman, and you will not tell her otherwise, Jordan Grace, who also has had a previous chance at the X Division title too, Dermo Heat's Open Challenge, given the opportunity, and he nearly lost it to her too. Okay, well, this is a who's who, considering we know Trey Miguel, or the champion thereof, at Rebellion, has a triple threat awaiting for them, including the likes of Ace Austin. And I believe the other one was Real Kid. I have to double check that graphic. Rebellion's still being built. Again, too much wrestling to keep track of. That being said, this one's all over the board as far as where it can go. And again, we've seen in the past, these shows, they're treated like pay-per-views. Titles can change hands. I'm still reeling after what happened. I sacrificed a lot of my stuff. My poor inspiration. Yep. That being said, it looks like only 3 people right now are in the NoDQ Galaxy or Pro Impact Wrestling fandom, just wrestling fans in general's perspective. Jordan Grace, 29%, Chris Bay, 18%, and the rest have the champ retaining. Jerry, your thoughts in this field, who you think is going to take it?
I'm about to say, you said it best, there's a hodgepodge of people in here with a hodgepodge of different styles. Vincent's kind of a wild card, so I can see him turning it into a full-on hardcore match, which you don't really see a lot of going on in Ultimate X matches. You see a lot of high flying and everything, but you don't see a lot of like weapons being used. So that would be interesting, like an interesting dynamic to be thrown in. Jorian Gray, she's got a lot to prove, especially if she could end up being like the first ever female winner in like one of those like X Division matches, like or the Ultimate X match like that. I'm pretty sure that like that's like intergender, and she'd be winning the championship at the same time, so that's huge. But my gut says that is stick with Trey Miguel because he's been doing so great. But at the same time, what you said, like there's been so many different title changes on some of these smaller shows and this is a multiverse, so I wouldn't be shocked if this is when we get Chris Bay winning the X Division championship, especially after his showing last night with with the Motor City Machine Guns. Such a great match. I got to sit and watch that on my lunch break at work. I was watching Impact.
Now they're 1-1. We got to have a rubber.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that was phenomenal. And like to finish alone, I'm like, okay, if Chris Bay is going to be my pick for this match.
Yeah, I think Chris Bay is definitely first ballot pick ahead of the champion. Again, it was Bullet Club, first off. He's being endorsed by Bullet Club. And as a former X Division champion, he wants that title back too, but he didn't get his rightful one-on-one match. But I got to stick with my hometown boy. Trey Miguel's been a hell of a champion. He gave Macklin his first pinfall loss. Right now, I'm all with Trey. Trey, go ahead and take it home, buddy. All right. This is going to be a fun match, though. Well, you talked about how the Motor City Machine Guns brought it, as always. Again, seamless tag team of all time. Should be literally in the Impact Hall of Fame at this point.
Oh, yeah.
They had a hell of a banger with Chris Bay and Jay White. And as we know, both members of Motor City Machine Guns, they're in respective singles actions, too. So let's go ahead and start talking about one of those matches in general. As one half of the Motor City Machine Guns, glad he's back. Alex Shelley, who already had a 20-minute classic with Switchblade Jay White, takes on Speedball Mike Bailey. Oh, jeez. Okay, this match could go truly either way. Speedball Mike Bailey is already involved on GCW. He's being involved on Lone Star Shootout. Might I add, Lone Star Shootout's ahead of this, and both shows are live tonight. That being said, Jerry, your thoughts on this match first. What you got?
Alex Shelley is probably my favorite, most underrated wrestler ever. I enjoyed his time back in Ring of Honor, back in the Embassy. I enjoyed his Paparazzi Productions angle that he used to do here in Impact. I followed his career like crazy since then. And I always thought it would have been cool if he actually had gotten the shot in the WWE, that he could have been the fourth member of the Shield, the one holding the camcorder the entire time during all their promos. It would have made so much sense. And he would have added a different dynamic to the group. But Speedball Mike Bailey, he's waited so long to get all this exposure that he's been getting lately, and a win over Alex Shelley would be pretty awesome. But I think Alex Shelley is due a win. It's been a bit because it seems like he's losing a lot more matches more often than not. And I like the idea of him getting a win and possibly not even staying in Impact much longer. Maybe he his part a bigger part in the resurgence of Ring of Honor, possibly one of the trainers there. Because he'd be a perfect person to teach how to do promos, basic ring psychology, just how to work a crowd. He does everything beautifully. So, Alex Shelley's my pick.
It's one of those things, again, where I look at Alex Shelley and what is he going to do in Impact Wrestling in the long haul, as you're alluding to. Because I saw Alex Shelley face Matt Taven live at 2019's Ring of Honor Summer Supercard for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Again, the guy can go, guy can do anything. He definitely could be a foundation in the Ring of Honor, now led by Tony Khan. And for those that haven't seen the media call yet, I highly suggest you get ready to do that. I'm probably going to try and do that if I have time. As far as this match goes, yeah, this is pretty much almost 50-50 among the 28 people so far in the Impact Predictions League poll. And shout out to all of you that's filled out your predictions so far. Good luck to everybody, included but not limited to Tim, Paul, me, Kyle, Cindy, The Holiday, Christopher Mace, Benji, Bobby, Chumbawamba. I love that name. I get that down. And of course, Ashley Reynolds, who I believe is a front runner right now in the league, and the current champion, of course, Scott Cater. Cheers, brother. That being said, boy. And again, Mike Bailey's going to be in action all this week across all platforms. He's already been involved in Josh Burnett's Bloodsport 8. What a hell of a fucking show. And he actually got a win on that card there. But right now, Alex Shelley, yeah, I don't think he's gotten a singles win yet since being back under Impact Wrestling. So just under those circumstances, and maybe a future challenger for our championship, I'm going to go with Alex Shelley like you because Mike Bailey's already got a way towards the title. He's challenging for the X Division title at Rebellion. That's the reason why I think they pulled him out of the Ultimate X in the first place.
That's the only reason I was also thinking about Trey Miguel, retaining in the Ultimate X match. Like that, you saw that encounter with him and Speedball Mike Bailey last night, on Impact. So it kind of makes sense that he'd be like next in line for a single shot at the X Division belt. So, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take away Chris Bay. I'm gonna go ahead and say Trey Miguel's gonna retain.
I see. Okay. Fair enough. Again,
I based on that, and I'm like, okay, that needs to be rectified.
Yeah,
if anybody takes the belt off Trey Miguel at this point, it would be Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if at the end of the match, once Alex Shelley beats him, he shakes his hand, raises his arm in endorsement, and leaves the ring.
There you go. And there's your future of the X Division and Trey Miguel. Yep. Maybe he goes on for maybe the world title. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Alexander.
And that'd be awesome for Alex to coin Speedball Mike Bailey to be the future of the X Division, and Trey Miguel takes offense to that, and that's where you get the decent sized heel turn from Trey Miguel.
Exactly. All right, well, as we move on from there, let's go ahead and go into the other part of Impact Wrestling that is one of the strongest foundations of this company, especially today with its variety and actually having teams. Whoever heard of a concept in women's wrestling? As the Knockouts Tag Team Championships are on the line in a fatal four-way. The Influence, Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood, defend against the current Knockouts champion, Tasha Steelz, and her heavy, Savannah Evans. Came very close in that Battle Royale. Also against the unlikely duo, Silver and Gold, I like to call it. Michelle Shaw, Lady Frost, they've had their bitter rivalries, but you know what happens with competition. It could breed respect. And then, of course,
they coexist?
I'm so glad you said that. And, of course, former Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Decay and Jessica Havoc, and the new, might I add, #1 contender to the Knockouts World Championship, one of my personal favorites, for reasons, Rosemary. And yes, I do follow the shadow. Okay, well, first off, I am going to say this. I was first off a bit jinxed, or I don't know, mad, pissed. I'll just look with that. That my girls, the inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, were not in it. But, as Tom Hagen did mention, apparently Cassie Lee has an injury and is not medically cleared to compete, which is why Jessica McKay was in that Knockouts Battle Royale. All I got to say to that, Cassie Lee, get well soon, be re-inspired, regain your titles too. As far as this goes, I look at it like this. I don't see the Knockouts champion also being the Knockouts Tag Team champion. Not here. I also think the unlikely alliance could be the wild card here, maybe surprise us. And with the fact that now Rosemary is #1 contender, I see her and Tasha Steelz having fun, and Tasha maybe trying to soften up her opponent, who's no stranger to injuries, especially when it comes to her leg. So, looking at this four-way, I'm going to say right now that the champs retain, even if it doesn't involve Caleb with a K, because I know there's trouble in paradise there, too. I got the champs retaining. What's your thoughts, Jerry?
That's my mentality about it as well. I know we talked a lot about the championships not really being hot potatoes or whatnot, but at this point, I think they need to let them have the belts for just a little while, especially while the inspiration is away. Because then, you had that rematch relatively soon after Cassie comes back from injury. And like you said, everybody else seems like they're kind of preoccupied with their own different storylines at this point. This is kind of a hodgepodge match, and I think it's more of a way of just being as many women on the show as possible. So, yeah, I'm going to say, the champs are retaining in this match. It's going to be a great one. It's going to be bedlam. But it's going to be fun. So, but the champs are going to retain.
Well, at least with this booking, there's context in the other teams actually having storylines.
Yeah.
WWE. And also, Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost are coming off a great triple threat champ challenge against Deonna Purrazzo, where both came this close to defrauding Deonna Purrazzo of her 2 crowns. So, no disrespect to any of them. At least here, There's actual contrast and content that matters in everybody involved.
But that's the whole idea, though, because a lot of people that aren't familiar with Impact, they can at least like shoehorn the stories in between these like different competitors. So these people are like, oh, okay, well, that may be something I want to follow. That I want to see how this plays out.
Exactly. Majority of the poll here of the 28 looks like 75% with the champs. We have a slither here where 2 people pick Tasha and Savannah. They must want that flavor. 1 person picked the unlikely duo, so at least 1 person, maybe besides you, even though with that thought, think they may coexist. And then 4 other people picked Decay because they probably follow the shadow. And again, they are former Knockout Tag Team champions, so there's that context too. All right. Well, that seemed pretty worthwhile to talk about then, because again, respect the Knockouts division, one of the best women's divisions of professional wrestling on the planet in a non-all-women's promotion.
That's my take on it too. It's pretty much the best women's division that they have that isn't a full-on women's promotion.
Yeah, besides Stardom, Black Peach is my dark secret crush. I'm just saying that right now. Momo Watanabe. Anyway, I'll worry about the Cinderella tournament when it starts. Let's go ahead and move on from there in what's sure to be another instant classic. Now, while we know the roots aren't as deep with these two, Alex Shelley runs with this guy for a living, and I expect another classic out of his partner facing a student of his former mentor, too. As we now have the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns. I don't know how the hell Scott D'Amore does this, but boy, are you brilliant. Chris Sabin. Hell, Sabin now looks to try and do what Alex Shea wasn't able to do and give Switchblade Jay White a bit of humility in defeating him in singles action. Okay, I keep saying it. All these matches right here could take match of the night, but the Switchblade Jay White and Chris Sabin himself. Jared, you could probably talk about Chris Sabin all night, being Fanboys Machine Guns and what he's going to Alex Shelley.
His matches with AJ Styles and PD Williams back in the day, those were phenomenal.
No pun intended.
Yeah. What do you mean? Oh yeah. But yeah, Chris Sabin has been like a stalwart in the Impact Wrestling just for ages now. So for Jay White to take him out, that only solidifies the fact that Jay White is there, and he's gunning for the big guns more or less. So I can actually see Jay White not only knocking off Alex Shelley, but taking out Chris Sabin and just continuing his road to the top.
Yeah, Jay White's going to just run through the Impact roster at this point as he looks to make a statement, make an example out of you, just like I did out of your friend, out of my mentor, Alex Shelley. Chris Sabin, you will learn to breathe with the Switchblade because it is still my era. Yeah, yep. I completely agree. This is going to be another classic, and I'm not exactly sure if Chris Sabin can push Jay White further than Alex Shelley, since Alex Shelley and Jay White were really
if anybody's going to bring out the absolute best in Jay White or in Chris Sabin in that roster, or Jay White in that roster, it's going to be Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin does not put on bad matches ever.
No.
So, especially a singles match where he's like got to be the main focus with that person in that ring. He's a ring general and a half, and it's going to be a great match, and it's going to look spectacular. But Switchblade Jay White's going to get put over on it.
Well, apparently there is one person that believes that Chris Sabin can somehow give us the shock of this new era of Bullet Club and give Jay White the loss, but I'm against them too. Just like you, I'm with the majority here, practically everybody, 98% apparently. We're agree with the Switchblade.
People have to understand that it's not me dissing Chris Sabin or saying that he can't do it. It is basically what's best for story progression at this point, and putting over somebody that like will be there for quite a while. It looks like, and that's going to be Jay White.
Daggone right. And the real testament is, will this surpass Alex Shelley versus Jay White?
Oh, that's what they're trying to do. God, yes, it will. Like, I love Alex Shelley to death, but when it comes to him versus Sabin, like, Sabin has always been the showman. Really up. Well, I'd say Alex Shelley's more like the showman, but like Chris Sabin's got more of the technical aspect down than anything else.
That's the word I was looking for. Technical. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you, and I completely agree. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on from there as we got some tag team actions, and we will see if that same classic recipe indeed is too sweet and leads to another victory after the Chump Chump Challenge example, as the Good Brothers look to get a bit of flesh and set an example ahead of Rebellion, the first ever 8 tag team gauntlet to try and regain the Impact World Tag Team Championships. They're taking on Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and the new, spoiler alert, newly minted GCW World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. I'm, of course, talking about the Crockett Cup winners, too, of the NWA. Them boys, done it all, doing it all, been doing it all. The Briscoe brothers, Mark and Jay Briscoe. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what to think here because the way I see it, the Good Brothers, they need to get a win if they really are going to be the team that J-Rob wants in his Bullet Club, lead by example, and they want to try and build some momentum towards Rebellion. But, as we know, on the same night, I can't believe this, on the same night, prior to this show, them boys will be defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against FTR, hashtag top guys. Honestly, based on the outcome of that match, that mentality that them boys could be left with could truly affect the outcome of this match and maybe even the Briscoes' future. I feel like the Briscoes' future is going to be defined tonight by 2 of matches in particular, and that's at Supercard of Honor and this one. But simply going along with what your context was saying, I do think about storyline progression. And right now, the Good Brothers, they're kind of lost in that progression. And according to the poll here, 75% believes that them boys are going to keep them in that spot too and have them winning. But Jerry, what about you?
All right. So I'm actually thinking FTR is probably going to beat the Briscoes at the Ring of Honor show.
Same.
Because part of me actually believes that Tully Blanchard isn't actually fired, and they're just trying to lure him into they're just trying to lure the Briscoes into a false sense of security, like they won't have to worry about anybody on the outside of that ring. So if that's the case, they'll lose the belts that night. And they're going to be really pissed off and wanting to prove themselves again at the expense of the Good Brothers. So I like the idea of the Briscoes actually losing to the Good Brothers, just because they get too overly aggressive, because they just make a mistake here and there, and that's when you have the Briscoes come back on their promos and whatnot on social media and be like, okay, we lost our focus. We got a little mad. We're good now though. We're good. We're still the best. We're gonna get refocused up. We're back on the road. We're gonna get our belts back. Everything's gonna be good. So I'm thinking the Good Brothers are actually gonna take advantage of the fact that the Briscoes are gonna be tired and feel defeated and cheated, and they're gonna win.
Yeah, again, it's going to come down to who wants this more, but also who's going to hear more angry. I feel the Good Brothers are constantly going to be angry with the fact that, again, they are not, once again, the Impact World Tag Team Champions, but the Briscoes, them boys, the Ring of Honor Tag Team, period, champion or not. If they lose those belts to FTR tonight, they are not closing tonight on 2 losses. I got them boys too. Jay and Mark Briscoe right now, they are on a tag team right now of another level versus the Good Brothers when it comes to their work ethic.
They are absolutely spectacular. And I know a lot of people are betting against the Good Brothers, and that's one of the other reasons I'm going with them. Is the fact that it's going to be a shocker if they do pull off the win, and that would be. It just seems like it would kind of humble the Briscoes, which. I love their promos. I love watching Mark Briscoe just eat while Jay just goes off and just riffing on stuff. And it's great. But it's one of my favorite things. I was waiting for him to be serious, but he's taking a whole tub of Cool Whip and starts eating. I'm like,
I used to do that. But yeah, we're both with them boys at this point. Sorry, Good Brothers.
Yeah, but it was. Oh my God.
Now I want Cool Whip. I don't think I have any. I'm gonna have to get some tomorrow when I go to the store and rinse out my.
It's like 90 cents a tub. And you eat the whole thing in like one serving. It's pretty great.
Yeah, well, I'm not here. Dairy products. That's a whole conversation for another day when it comes to how much stuff costs here. But I digress. All right, so we're both with them boys. Sorry, good brothers. Again, I'm just gonna say this right now. My tag team of Bullet Club was God, and vengeance will be served.
I say I'm going with the Good Brothers.
What?
I'm going with the Good Brothers on this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think the Briscoes are going to like get frustrated and mess up. They'll just be tired. Simple as that.
Okay.
They're an awesome team. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, they can only do so much, man. And the matches that they're going to be having, like up until that point, are going to be straight bangers. So it's gonna wear on them. And if they do retain against FTR, that's awesome because they have absolutely nothing to lose to the Good Brothers except for a match. And even then, like the Good Brothers can keep on saying how they beat the Briscoes, and then the Briscoes get mad about this and get rested, and then they come back.
All right, I see the way your brain's working. I'm just going to say this right now. The way I could see Good Brothers losing, because I know there's honor among these two teams. What if God shows up and costs them? I don't think God personally is done with Impact Wrestling, let alone JY's Bullet Club. And I know that they will be back for revenge.
That's always a factor, especially since, like, you know, it's a non-title match. That's exactly the main thing right there. Anything could occur.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I'm excited for this. But all right, we're finally different. One for them boys. One for the Good Brothers. ROH versus Impact Wrestling, or ROH versus Bullet Club, however you look at it. Good stuff. But speaking of ROH, will we see Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, a technical wrestler on another level? Long may she reign across both domains. Maybe lose a crown tonight as she once again puts out another champ challenge, defending either the AAA Reinas de Reinas Championship or the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. And if she is still the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, by the end of tonight, we will know who her opponent will be eventually at time yet to be determined for the actual undisputed Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. As of course, again, Ring of Honor Super of Honors prior to this, we'll have an interim champion determined between Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Martinez. Now, again, it's a who's who we think's going to face her, but it comes down to, do we see her losing either one of those crowns tonight with the likes of Taya Valkyrie, Lady Apache, and who knows who else across this industry could come and challenge for either title? And will it be a Ring of Honor focus? Will it be AAA focus? I don't see her dropping both or defending both tonight. Challengers include but not limited to, people have said, Athena, Melina, Mia Yim, Sky Blue. That'd be interesting. Taya Valkyrie, Toni Storm, Angelina Love, and Cindy. You are bloody crazy. Our lovely indie darling, just simply Cindy, said Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jerry, your thoughts on this? What do you expect tonight? Do you see Deonna losing either of her crowns? I don't.
I don't either, but same time, like, I think a natural person for her to be challenged by is the same woman that's about ready to challenge Jade Cargill in AEW.
Marina Shafir.
Marina Shafir versus Deonna Purrazzo would be a great match.
Yes.
So
I love that.
That's my pick. You just hear that, you know, that Godfather like music playing. It's like, oh, ooh. Like that'll strike fear. That and if anything, even if she loses in this match or Deonna Purrazzo somehow gets out of it, you know, doesn't have to face her or whatnot, that's really going to make her look stronger against Jade Cargill at this point. And that's something we really need, because at this point Jade's not really taking her seriously. So maybe she'll be the one that unseats Jade Cargill on AEW. I doubt it, because she's still relatively unknown to most of the people there. Mm-hmm. But it'll make her look stronger, at least in the match, and that's what we're running for. But Deonna Purrazzo is going to retain both belts. But if she goes against Marina Shafir, that'll be a contender probably for the match of the night.
No doubt. You're talking about, again, two technical wizards, violent wrestlers. I would love to see that.
She did not get a fair shake at all in NXT, and it bothers me.
Don't remind me of what is dead right now. RIP my NXT, but also Triple H, thank you for your career. And please take care of your health. Like he says, seize the day. I can't believe he's limited to there. God bless that man. That being said, yeah, as far as this goes, I love that idea. Again, when it comes to technical wrestlers, I can pick up a handful from the women perspective that deliver, constantly thrive and grow every time.
Or Killer Kelly.
Shafir, Deonna Purrazzo. That's really about it as far as technical, rounded female professional wrestlers. And Maria Shafir, of course, is involved heavily at WrestleCon weekend. Again, I watched Bloodsport 8. She had a pretty darn good match against Zeta Zhang and won. So there you go. And she also is a champion across the other promotions too. I forget the name of the other promotion. I'm sorry, Marina. That being said, will the problem come across somebody that brings a solution tonight if we indeed see that fight? I guess honestly that's the same question you'd ask Jade Cargill, knowing that actual fight is coming. Because again, you could say Jade's green, but Maria Shafir is green as far as the identity maybe to the pro wrestling world, which I do agree. But number 30,
the fact that everybody calls Jade Cargill green and her hair is green is pretty great.
She just goes along with it, and she went with the whole idea. Okay, Jade, green character, Mortal Kombat. Get this woman cosplaying cast of Mortal Kombat sooner rather than later, please.
Yeah.
And Smart Mark Sterling endorsed my tweet. I want shares of that profit if that actually works, Mark. That being said, what? He's a lawyer, but shoot, I'm a businessman. Come on now. I don't have the biggest wallet as him, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, as far as this goes, again, Deonna Purrazzo, it's going to take somebody extremely special on or above her level, if such a thing exists, besides Serena Deeb and other name we've talked about, to take either of these crowns off her, in my opinion. I feel she's unstoppable, and rightfully so, and deserves to be. Again, NXT, dropped the ball. But I got Deonna Purrazzo winning regardless of either title being defended, too. But if Maria Shafir happens, that would make my weekend, because I love Shafir and what she brings. All right. Now, that's enough of women's wrestling for a moment here. Let's go ahead and move into a clash that it wouldn't surprise me if it closes, because if this is Impact focused, you want to hype up your world title match, I would say, and Clash of Monsters. But considering what else is left, I'm not sure, considering these other two matches could surpass it. So we'll just go ahead and give it a talk right now, because I still feel like it deserves it. As we have, of all unlikely allies, why do I feel like this is just something that's going to crash and burn hard? Josh Alexander and Jonah, might I add, former rivals, faced each other one-on-one, and Josh Alexander won. Takes on the Impact World Champion Moose, who, by the way, speared Josh Alexander's wife. Yeesh. Jada, hope you're okay. And the guy right now that Jonah cannot seem to put down, he's not human! The walking French-Canadian Frankenstein himself, and I'm sure Moose is like, what the hell am I with? PCO. Jerry, what the hell are we about to see here?
This doesn't even look like a tag match. It looks like a fatal four-way.
It does, right?
Oh my god.
What the hell?
I'm about to say, this is a fatal four-way that should be put in like a tables match or something of that matter, but like, good god, man.
Yeah, look at this freaking monster clash.
It's hard to really pick, because either team really doesn't have much to lose, not much to gain in this whole thing, except for, just a win heading into the inevitable Josh Alexander versus Moose. But,
and PCO versus Jonah, which I'm sure is going to happen again sooner rather than later.
I could honestly say, like, if I'm going to go in one direction at this point, it'd probably be Moose and PCO picking up the win, and like a Moose getting pinfall on Jonah. So that way, like Josh Alexander is protected, and PCO and Jonah doesn't get the pinfall on PCO in this tag match either. So you have both those storylines that can still continue without anybody really coming out bad at this point. So I'm gonna go. That's my route. I'm gonna go Moose and PCO to win.
I kind of understand the route you're going, but I see it from the other side right now, especially with a super infuriated Josh Alexander that cannot wait to rip the head off somebody. And I'm sure PCO will welcome that, because PCO is not human. I see Josh Alexander putting down.
Tap out then?
I don't know what to say about tap out, because PCO might just laugh maniacally and pass out, or maybe he will C4 spike him, because we know that PCO is no stranger getting dropped on his head. He was left on a stretcher, for Pete's sake, the last time he faced Jonah, and then we saw these two find the back of the 2300 arena this past Thursday in a cinematic match. again, they're going to leave Jonah and PCO to finish it out amongst themselves, but they're going to push, like you said, the Josh Alexander and the Moose narrative. And right now, Josh, he's going to try and unleash as much as possible, try and get as a Moose. Moose is going to avoid that, and I see Josh Alexander putting down PCO for now. Unless PCO and Jonah decide to clash with each other and go off too, then I guess you really are stuck with the idea of if it's down to Josh Alexander and Moose, how do you end it there? I mean, I guess you could try, Moose can't beat Josh, or maybe he actually shows intimidation against Josh, gets DQ'd. Even then, though, Josh still get the win, too. So right now, looking at either of those perspectives, pushing forward primarily the World Championship match of Rebellion, I actually got Josh and Jonah picking up the win here.
I can actually almost imagine now Josh making PCO tap out, because that's going to make him look even stronger going into the title match. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with my pick.
All right, so there you go. We're split again. And it looks like there's a little bit of a split with the pool here. Josh Alexander and Jonah with 78% of the vote. Moose and PCO with 21. Again, it's not unanimous because, again, we have two polarizing narratives clashing here. One is definitively going to be concluded Rebellion. The other one is going to continue at some point with round 2, Clash of the Monsters.
Yeah.
So, again, we'll have to wait and see. All right, well, we're down to 2 matches here, so we'll go ahead and move on to this fun singles clash where Honor No More, well, he's also Impact No More, apparently, but he's going back to a new rivalry being renewed in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as we saw at Wrestle Kingdom Day 3. I still thought that was a pretty cool show. More singles matches, please. As we have my all-time favorite of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the Stone Pit Bull, Tomohiro Ishii, showing us his best and what he's made of after already going to face freaking, what's he facing at the Lone Star shootout? Oh yeah, Chris Dickinson. What the holy hell? Taking on, representing Pro Wrestling Noah, which he does have roots there too, Eddie Edwards. Okay, I'm just looking forward to this fight. It's as simple as that. I'm just looking forward to this freaking fight. Mm-hmm. And right now, the poll here of 28 people, 43% believe in Ishii, and 58% believe in Eddie Edwards. It's one of those things where if Eddie loses here, I don't think it affects him as far as Honor No More goes, because Honor No More is not necessarily bound by any company. They're just bound by their own philosophy. And we already see this tension with him and Rocky Romero, and I inevitably see that one-on-one coming ahead again, too. Maybe a tag match of what happened this past Thursday in Impact as well. But then you got Ishii, who is coming to Impact Wrestling, and has got the top dog at Rebellion already. I wonder, though, if Jonah's going to think about that at all here, knowing PCO apparently still wants more of him, too. Jonah, you got a couple of mean threats on your hands. But right now, looking at this match, I kind of want to see Ishii put Eddie Edwards' lights out with a vertical drop brainbuster. So I'm going with my boy Ishii for the win. I mean, hey, he already got a win over Moose. The fact that Ishii is now involved in Impact Wrestling, kind of thinking about Rebellion a different way too, considering Ishii owns a victory over a guy that has yet to beat him too. So I'm going with the Stone Pit Bull. Stone Pit Bull Wrestling all the way for the win. Jerry, your thoughts?
I think it's becoming more of a numbers game than anything else. Because you have Mike Bennett, who's not going to be in a match. You've got the rest, pretty much everybody else in Honor No More is not going to be wrestling that night short of Vincent. And even then, he'll be in the building. So, I think if it came down to a numbers game, that Eddie Edwards would still win and show that why he is the heart of Impact Wrestling, and I can actually see him picking up the win.
I get it, because again, it took numbers game for Ishii to lose in the worst Neverweight Championship match of all time.
And the more people it takes to take him down, the stronger he's going to look in the loss.
I get that. And necessarily Ishii is not out for victory. He's out to prove that he is the strongest in whoever he's fighting. I get that. Yeah. But Ishii, for the love of God, man, he deserves some freaking win, momentum, some favoritism. This guy is so damn underrated. Why is he not a freaking champion? He should have brought the Neverweight Championship here and defended it.
Dial it back. We're okay. You're in a safe place.
I'm fine.
You're in a safe place. You're safe.
I'm fine.
All right,
also, I do like the idea that this is kind of crossing over with the fact that NJPW and Pro Wrestling Noah, they are kind of feuding with each other too. But I don't know how the feud's going to pick up since Wrestle Kingdom. But that's a whole different story. All right, we're split. And again, your logic definitely makes sense. And in the end, I could see that happening too. But I hope it doesn't.
Bezic and Princess Bride, played by Andre Giant, said best in the movie. He's like, you use different strategies when you're fighting one person versus when you're fighting many men. And that's what ended up happening. He'll be focused so much, laser focused on Eddie Edwards, that he will not be prepared for the onslaught of the rest of Honor No More.
Fair logic, fair proverb, and a fair analysis, and a great illustration. With that being said, you want to talk about men and women and fighting and all this type of stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about what's definitely unique, and I'm surprised that we won't hear the word madness or hear that theme, but Nick Aldis is back under Impact Wrestling for maybe just one night, but it's still crazy to think about. It's the battle of the power couples in professional wrestling as the current, and I kid you not still, NWA World Heavyweight Champion and the Impact Digital Media Champion, and insert for other belts here. I'm, of course, talking about Mr. Always Ready, Matt Cardona. He tags along with his wife. I love me a hot mess, and I feel like she's going back to 2006. Hey, Mickey, remember that role? I'm, of course, talking about Chelsea Green. They take on the Otises in Hardcore Country, Mickey James, who just had a great match against Alley Catch at GCW, and the real world's champion, he calls himself, the national treasure, the deal maker, the face, many would say, of the NWA, and a former Impact World Champion, for those that remember, Nick Aldis. Boy, oh boy, has this been brewing. It started with Matt Cardona and Aldis, and now it's devolved finally with Chelsea Green and Mickey James, and we got mixed tag team action, and why I feel like Aldis is a man of class. I feel that he's going to unravel a bit here because I feel he's a bit more angry than usual. We saw what happened with his I Quit match against former, what's his name? Latimer. There's Thomas Latimer. And again, it took his wife because Latimer refused to quit. Oh boy, if Camille ever showed up in Impact Wrestling. That being said, I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm not sure which way this could go. We got the development now that Chelsea Green and Mickey James are clearly going to have a feud. I can see them having a singles match at Rebellion. We'll see who truly is the crazier bitch, too, as Mickey James clearly said it. And again, she's crazy, folks. 2006. As far as Cardona and all this, we saw what happened at the Crockett Cup, and I still can't believe that worked. As Jeff Jarrett's like, you threw in the towel on behalf of your husband. Okay, you keep the title. There's no way Nick Aldis will ever be done with Matt Cardona until he gets the NWA World Championship back and returns it to the NWA. And honestly, I wouldn't mind it because, again, he is their champion, the champion, besides Tim Storm, of this generation. I'm torn because I want to figure out which way this could go and who really needs momentum more. And right now, I think it'd be who you will look at as the baby faces here, the underdogs, I would say, in some people's eyes. But then again, you got Cardona and Green. They're taking over the industry and doing it their own way, and they have more allies that we can actually count across all the promotions. Makes me wonder if Mike Knox, Hornswoggle, Brian Myers, who else is with them? Mark Sterling, somebody else shows up on their behalf. And of course, Mickey James, she has her fair share of enemies too. I wonder if Chelsea Green has anybody else. But right now, I feel like this is just round one of these power couple feud finally coming forward. I got Mickey James and Nick Aldis for the win. Your thoughts on this?
I think Chelsea Green's going to start letting that crazy out, and I think they're going to win.
Oh,
I think we're going to start. I think we're going to start seeing shades of Laura Von Ness, and it's going to be awesome. That's going to lead right into their singles match at Rebellion, like you said. But yeah, Cardona and Green are at this point where they're just it. They are the it couple in wrestling at this point. Forget Sammy and Ty. Forget about Cole and Baker. Like pretty much Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. If Chelsea Green can make it without getting injured for the rest of this year, she could easily be the biggest woman star in the company or just in the world. Honestly,
yeah, she really can. And good for her.
She's got everything to pull it off. She just needs to stop getting hurt. So. But yeah, Cardona, it'll just be another feather in his cap if he in this match. Even if he doesn't get the pinfall, a win is a win over Nick Aldis at this point, and he'll use that for another title shot at Nick Aldis for the NWA or for just over NWA and whatnot. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great match. It's gonna be one of the better intergender matches we're actually gonna see, and I'm excited for it. I love pro wrestling.
Amen, brother. And honestly, if Laura Van Ness unfolds starting here
Yeah.
versus afterwards, which is what I was figuring in my outcome, because I've already seen the hot mess start to unravel and show up in the NWA, and I love it. I would not mind seeing
Yeah,
that.
no,
Again,
I'm saying it wouldn't shock me if she like falls out of the ring or something. Like her head comes back up a little bit. She got the lipstick smeared across her face. Like it would make sense for the multiverse of matches night to pretty much divulge into that. Like pretty much you get her doppelganger out, and it's because you haven't seen many people like change who they are or anything in these matches. But for her to make
not
it
during them especially.
for her to make start going into that transformation, or at least like go into completely, that'll make the place pop so crazy. And then like just her and Matt Cardona celebrating at the end, like just holding up his multitude of belts and whatnot would be great.
The wildest celebration you could get at the end of a show, because this sounds like this right here should close it. But yeah, I get it. Regardless, I think we both can agree we're going to see Laura Van Ness versus Mickie James.
Oh, yeah.
2006, maybe at Rebellion. That would be the craziest bitch match in the history of women's professional wrestling. I can't wait.
Because she can even say that she only let out like half the crazy at this pay-per-view. She has nothing. She has no idea what she's capable of.
Exactly. We're gonna find out who the craziest one is, and I can't wait to see it, because we all know Mickie James, she local, but also Chelsea Green. Oh, she could get a little crazy too. And with the fact that this industry has always just given the boot to her ass, figuratively. Right now, she's like, fuck you, I'm owning this. So, I mean, again, the way that Mickie James and Chelsea Green can go without the title now, I'm all for it. But again, we're split, but at least we know kind of what's to come, what we hope to come. And I like that, because again, in pro wrestling, you don't want it to be so linear. You want it to be polarizing. Impact Wrestling is that.
Yeah, I like the idea of us having like split votes on these certain matches, because that just says they're doing something right there. To the point where you have to overanalyze everything. It's like take in every last aspect of what's going on. There's some matches in other companies that I won't mention that are so laid out and so formulaic. And you have Impact that has so many different people coming in and coming through, and they have their homegrown stars that are always great. And it's just a great company, and I like talking about it.
Amen, brother. Same as me.
Nakamura has done so well.
I know. But see, I wonder what you were referring to. That being said,
you look like you had a little bit of a glitch there.
What glitch? I didn't glitch.
I don't know, but it was a stupendous one.
Really vague. I'm still regretting doing that. That being said, good stuff, Jerry, and I hope people do take a chance, they haven't already, on at least the multiverse of matches where there's something literally for every damn body that's a fan of professional wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Short of a hardcore match, we're getting everything, and that's why I think Vincent's going to turn the Ultimate X match into a hardcore match.
Well, he is also bloody insane, as he literally ripped the head apart of Matt Taven, and the fact those two are together now again after the Kingdom was disbanded, and now they're back. It's a weird world we live in, the world of professional wrestling. But the bottom line is this: this is the super show of the weekend. This is my WrestleMania, in my opinion, and it comes on after this. What more do you need as a professional wrestling fan?
That's enough right there. Like either one of those cards pretty much tops anything WWE is going to do.
You're damn right.
Yeah, it's going to take them 2 days to try to accomplish what these guys are going to knock out in one.
Yes, and then again, I have two matches that kick off my wrestling weekend, because I'm an addict, in both this and this, and I can't fucking wait.
How is it that Killer Cross looks even more intimidating with hair?
You tell me, dude. The freaking hair in a suit. How about that? I was like, I'm like, what the hell?
This is a Killer Cross we should have gotten in NXT and it's frustrating.
Again, bad creative leads to poor decisions and disappointed fans.
He looks like a fucking video game villain. Look at him.
I know, right? I would play that. I would love to see that in a video game. I don't know if they can do that.
It's like make Streets of Rage 5. The last person you fight is Killer Cross.
He's the boss at the end. He just has the suit, and then just comes out of the suit and just literally destroys you, and then you get rage quit. I like the idea, though. I wouldn't mind that. Oh God, I love professional wrestling.
Scarlett Bordeaux just comes out long enough to laugh at you, then just walks away, and then all of a sudden Killer Cross just busts through a window. Jesus.
TikTok pays the toll, and the hourglass runs empty, and so does your life. All right. Well, besides that, I think that's all we have right now when it comes to Impact Wrestling. We got a few hours left until the Supercard of Honor and the Multiverse of Matches. It's going to be a hell of a night. Jerry, always a pleasure. Any last thoughts? And what do you want to play remote? Where can people find you?
I have nothing really to plug except for my Twitter, which is Gerald_JSJ, and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital, ARMBAR,
exclamation point. Don't forget it.
I still love that cover. That's so great. But
that is freaking hilarious.
But yeah, this is going to be one of the greatest weekends, I think, in professional wrestling ever. I think that's safe to say. You have so much stuff going on, and like as much as like WWE seems like they're in competition with everybody, the rest of these companies really aren't. They're just out to put on some really solid shows and get as many fans over there as possible. And that's an awesome feeling. That's awesome to look at.
That's all that really matters. Again, what do I live by? Just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. It's as simple as that. There's now a bigger illustration than everything happening under this weekend, and I pray to God that I can make this happen somehow for me next year, because I need to experience this in my life. That and AEW pay-per-view. But I digress.
Yeah.
Very always a pleasure. Folks, you want to know more about me, though? Know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. God bless the goodness, the greatness, the variety, and the progression of this industry. So find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm Foster1916 for all things wrestling. And again, shout out to AW Family on Twitter. We'll be back with our ATW View some point later this weekend with a new episode regarding so much. What we watch, what's to come, Triple H, The Bad Guy, Fallout since Revolution, and so much more. And again, stay tuned to Daily Slam. I'll be back with Cindy G and who knows who else. Continuing talking about AEW, particularly Rampage. And by God, what a Rampage night, too. Hobbs and Keith Lee, let's fucking go. So much pro wrestling.
Powerhouse Hobbs, oh my God.
That big hoss fight, meat on meat, as Biggie would say. Biggie get well soon. And again, folks, the next time you see the Super Impactful Duel, it will be at Rebellion, where again, that question mark, I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But again, expect the unexpected. I really hope to see the craziest bitch fight in women's professional wrestling ever.
That would shock me for some odd reason. It actually closes out the show.
Yeah, it should. Bottom line, Chelsea Green deserves to be a main eventer. Mickey James is already that. God bless those two. And folks, again, as always, at the close, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bears. Just fans and opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, guard your mentality, especially in this world of social media and cyberbullying, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. Again, with that being said, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell, know this video goes live on this channel or on demand. Hit the subscribe button, help me keep growing this channel. Shout out to all 220 of you. This has been Man's Fun Story Creator's Journey. It's not ending up anytime soon. And a little bit of a plug to my friend Rob Gregg and his fantasy wrestling league, FSB. There you go, brother. I got you. If I botched it, you can get on my case in the messenger. And also, say yes to No DQ. Aaron Riff, he's a simple man as well. He's a humble wrestling fan with an old school mentality. And he does this for a living. I just do this for fun. So, support a hardworking man. And again, folks, like I said, this is going to be the wildest professional wrestling weekend fucking ever. And I will be all over the place tonight with Ring of Honor Supercard play-by-play on the Jeff Meacham Network. And also we'll be doing an open forum afterwards too, while I'll be watching three things at once in the Multiverse of Matches, AEW Rampage, and the WWE Hall of Fame too. So come by for that, join the chat, or join the conversation as well. Yes, Jerry, I know I'm crazy. And also over the weekend, I'll be doing play-by-play coverage on both nights of WrestleMania on the Jeff Meacham Network too. Stand delivered. Maybe I might just record the HW View during that as well with my crew. And again, all the predictions, folks, they are due tonight, period. The first one due, of course, is the Ring of Honor Supercard. You got till 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, all the links to these forums are on NoDQ's forums and also on my Twitter. They'll be also posted one more time on my Twitter after this video too. We, of course, have the Multiverse of matches following that tonight. They got a little more time for that if you're an Impact Wrestling focused fan. And, of course, this weekend is WrestleMania weekend, but per order of Sheriff Riff, both WrestleMania and Stand Delivered are due no later than midnight tonight. No changes, no further submissions. So once that clock hits midnight for Saturday morning, you are SOL. Period. That being said, thanks so much for listening. Jerry, always pleasure bantering and fantasy booking. And folks, always enjoy bringing some positivity in your life. Just talking all things wrestling. I really hope you get everything you can out of, as a professional wrestling fan or sports entertainment enthusiast, not judging, this weekend too. And until next time, on behalf of Jerry Multiverse and anybody that enjoys Impact Wrestling, we bid you all now a fine adieu. Get some rest, prepare for NJPW if you want, or anything else ahead. And goodbye, good night, till next time, from us to you. Take care. We're gonna be so fucking dead. What? Am I wrong?